Hi, welcome to an investment update with Generate. I'm Stephanie, advisor here. I'm also here with Nathan Field, our global portfolio manager, and also he runs the thematic strategy. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you.
Stock markets around the world sold off heavily last week, seemingly triggered as a result of President Trump's tariff announcement on Wednesday. Is that a fair assessment? Why was it such a shock?
Yeah, it's fair to say the tariff announcement was the catalyst for the most recent sell-off. We knew tariffs were coming. Trump campaigned on it, and we've been hearing about them all this calendar year, which is part of the reasons why markets have been soft for a month or two. But when Liberation Day came and he actually made the announcements, the tariffs were much higher and more draconian than anyone expected. I think the market was prepared for 10 to 15% tariffs, but they ended up being 20 to 30% in many cases. So tariffs much higher than expected, and also the messaging around the tariffs was very confusing. Some people in Trump's camp said that these tariffs were permanent and weren't going to be negotiated. Others in Trump's camp, including Trump himself, said he was always willing to pick up the phone and negotiate. So all that does is create uncertainty, which is particularly bad for businesses. You need certainty if you're making long-term decisions, allocating capital, even hiring decisions. And this sort of confusion just means that managers around the world are hitting the pause button. And that's bad for business, it's bad for the global economy, and ultimately it's bad for the stock market, as we've seen.
So what changes have you made to your portfolio, if any, as a result?
So the thematic portfolio that I run is always fully invested because we're trying to maximise long-term returns, and in the long term stocks go up. They don't go up in a straight line, but they do go up. These short-term corrections, although they're painful to go through when you're in the middle of them, are to be expected and are actually quite common. The S&P has dipped 10% or more 56 times since 1929. So these sorts of corrections happen once every 2 years or less. And even despite all those corrections, long-term investors have still done extremely well, and we expect that to be the case this time as well. At the same time, we are active investors, both in thematic and the team at Generate, and we've been energised by some of the price moves we've seen in the market. So we've been actively buying some high quality blue chip stocks that are suddenly 20 to 30% cheaper than they were a couple of months ago. And I'm talking about titans of industry that everybody knows, names like Walmart, like Amazon, TSMC, the biggest and best chip maker in the world. These are fantastic companies, and they'll continue to be fantastic well after Trump leaves office. So yeah, the short-term pain is hard to go through, but you know, we're taking advantage of these price moves and building a stronger portfolio for the long term.
Are there any themes you've sold out of due to less confidence or as a result of turmoil in the market?
Can't ignore that these policies have had a negative near-term impact on economic growth prospects, particularly in the US. So we have sold down some of our more cyclical exposures, so themes that are more exposed to economic conditions. And one that springs to mind is travel. Travel's been a big theme for us over the last 2 years. Post-COVID, we had a view that people would prioritise travel over other forms of spending. And that's been the case through 2023 and 2024. Cruise liners, hotels, even airlines have all done very well. But we see that pausing as a result of not just the tariff policies, but also the cuts in the public sector jobs, the DOGE reforms that Musk is leading in the US, and also the falling equity markets that has an effect on consumers' perception of their wealth. So yeah, we've sold out of some of our cyclical exposures like travel, and we've put that money to work in more secular themes like AI innovation, supply chain innovation, and investment in energy infrastructure, because these themes are going to happen regardless of economic conditions. So yeah, we're turning the portfolio over actively, and hopefully building a better portfolio for the long term.
Watch and see. Thank you, Nathan.